Hello everyone, and welcome to my next What's in the Name reading vlog. So this is an idea that I actually started a couple months ago, and I did a vlog where I read books by authors named Chelsea. I actually read 3 different books, and 2 out of 3 were really good. One of the authors I had never heard of before, and I'm going to be continuing the series that I started next month during the Indie Accords, because it is a self-published indie author, and I'm super excited about that. So that is the main goal of these vlogs, is to sort of pick up books that I might not necessarily have chose for myself, based solely on name. We're not doing Chelsea this time though. This time we are doing Greer, which is actually my maiden name. I just thought that would be a very interesting one to do, especially since I feel like it's sort of a surprise to most people on this channel. I started this channel after I got married, and so I have never used Greer for any of my stuff here. My channel name is Chelsea.zhao because that is my married name, but I do have 3 books here by 3 different authors, all with the last name of Greer. So the first one I actually did talk about in my TBR for this month is Less by Andrew Sean Greer. This one I'm actually also reading for the Clear Your Shit Readathon, and also I think for the Read by Daylight challenge that we're doing all year, because this is a book that is sort of outside of my comfort zone. It's also in a genre I don't normally read, because this is sort of more of a like literary contemporary book. I don't know too much about it. It's not very long. Actually, I think all the books that I'm planning on reading in the next few days for this vlog are under 300 pages, which is amazing. But this is about a man who is an author and has basically been turning down all of his like speaking jobs. I don't know exactly, literary conventions, that kind of stuff. But when he gets a wedding invitation from his ex-boyfriend, he decides now is the time to go to all of those conventions and speaking assignments all over the world. So I think this is supposed to be also a little bit of a take on like Around the World in 80 Days. I don't fully know, but yeah, it also did win the Pulitzer Prize. So I don't know if I've read anything that has won the Pulitzer Prize. So I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. But I'm excited to try it out, so we shall see. The next book I'm planning on reading is Kingpin by W.S. Greer. This is a mafia romance. I've never read a mafia romance. And it is also written by a guy. I have read some romances written by men, but I think pretty much all of them have been male-male romances, and I don't think this one is. So again, I'm very curious about that. I had never heard of this author. I've never heard of these books. The only one that I had heard of before was Less. Everything else is brand new to me. And speaking of the next book, Greer was a very hard one to do. A lot of the people that came up on Goodreads under the name of Greer seem to have like new age books. And this author that I have here seems to write a propensity of like new age, technically non-fiction type of books. But I did find a series by this author which is fiction. I'm assuming. And so the one that I'm going to be reading is The Weird of Hali Book 1, Innsmouth. This is going to be by John Michael Greer. And like I said, I'm pretty sure this author does a lot of new age-y type of books as well, but this one is specifically fiction. I don't know much about it. I do believe it is supposed to be sort of like an eldritch horror mystery thing. I'm very curious about it just because of that, but also I had never heard of this book before, and I think this one I found on Amazon while I was going through books written by Greers. Just like one of the books that I read last time in Chelsea, I went through Amazon looking for books written by Chelsea's, not just Goodreads. I went through both things. So Less is my only physical book. It's the only one that has also been traditionally published for this reading vlog. The other 2 have been self-published or indie published. And yeah, I'm very curious about how I'm gonna feel about this. I usually want to read books that I know are in the genres I like. So like last time I did this, I picked like some romance ones, some humor ones, some sort of like paranormal things that I had already been interested in. This time we have like literary contemporary, mafia romance, a weird eldritch horror mystery fantasy thing. I don't know. That one is the one that intrigues me the most, just because I do feel like I might like that a lot. But yeah, I don't know. This one I feel like is going to be the most interesting round of books potentially for a What's in the Name vlog, because I've done Chelsea before, we're doing Greer. I do have plans later in the year to potentially do more Chelsea and to do Zhao, but we're not there yet. We're on Greer. And so yeah, I don't know what the first one I'm gonna pick is. I'm sort of leaning more towards the mafia romance because I do love romance. However, I've never read a mafia romance and I almost feel like I wanna at least sort of start it to potentially get it out of the way. We'll see. So I'm gonna let you guys go and I will update you when I have started reading. Hi. I put his show on pause so I could talk to you guys, and he's not too sure he's happy about it. But I did start Kingpin. We're gonna be having lunch soon, and so I decided to stop my reading currently. I'm about 12% in, which was pretty quick to get through. So far, we're starting earlier than I thought we were really going to, because I went in assuming a romance. We're currently in 5th grade with them, so they were 11, and I do not mind the writing, and I do sort of like seeing the backstory for them, but it wasn't something that I expected. I actually ended right where part 2 starts, so it says 2 years later, so we're gonna get to them when they're 13, most likely in 7th grade, but they're young. There are hints of our male character, Dominic, having a crush on our female character, Alana. But there was one part where his mom, like he's telling his mom that he met a friend at school, because a lot of kids call him Ugly Dominic. Like they're mean. Kids can be very, very mean. And so they're mean to him. Alana is very nice to him. One, because she seems just like a nice person. She doesn't want to judge anybody, but also when she was brand new at this school, like her first day there was a different kid who basically was like harassing the girls, and she didn't like the fact that he was doing that, and so he tried to like beat her up, put her in the sand, and Dominic saved her, because you do not treat women that way. Like his dad, even though his dad is obviously gonna be part of the mafia, I'm pretty sure, you don't treat women that way. So she, one, being a nice person is nice, but two, likes that he saved her, I guess. But so they're becoming friends, and so he goes to his mom one day, and she's like, oh, how's school, anything new? And he's like, oh, I have a friend. And then she's like, oh, really? And he's like, before you start, yes, it's a girl, no, she's not my girlfriend. And I'm like, you're 11, and if you're saying before you start to your mom, to me, I don't know, it just sounds like you've had this conversation before, and you're 11. 11. This is also set, at least so far in the past, so the 11-year-olds, this is set in 2001 for that. So, surprisingly, that was how old I was in 2001. So, it's just not realistic to me personally. Yeah, kids were having crushes and stuff, but back then, this was like the early 2000s. People weren't really like dating in 5th grade. Like, that was not a thing that I remember whatsoever. By middle school, maybe, but 5th grade, no. And so they're not dating as far as I can tell, but he does have a crush, and just the way that his mom was talking about it put me off a little bit. But, like I said, the writing style is pretty good, and I got through that part pretty quickly. We are going to have lunch, but then I definitely want to continue because I'm curious, because now, like I said, we got to the part where it says 2 years later. So we're going to have them a little bit older. I don't know how long this is going to take to get to the adult stuff. We'll see, but I'm actually enjoying it more than I thought I was, but we're also not like at the mafia stuff yet. Yeah. Someone just woke up and I put him over here so I could get the camera, and he moved into my spot. You moved into my spot. Oh, you want to see yourself? Hi, baby.
Mama.
Yeah?
Baby.
Yeah, you're the baby.
Dada.
Dada's sleeping.
Mama.
Uh-huh.
Baby.
Yeah. Oh, hi. Yeah. Pippin. Yeah, Pippin's over there. Good job. Can I have the camera now? Mommy's turn. You can hold these. Okay, so he just woke up from his nap, and I actually did some editing in the office. Oh, did you want to show the camera? Good job. But I also did get to 36% of Kingpin. We started off when they were 11, we moved to when they were 13, and then we moved to them 15. And I just finished to the end of that. And now we're going to be skipping to a like 10 years later thing where they're 25. 36% of the way through the book, and they're not even adults. Like, now they are going to be. I don't know how I necessarily feel about it. The writing style is still okay. Like, there are some self-published books and stuff like that, especially when they're like the earlier books that they've done, where you know that they need an editor to like fix pacing issues and that kind of stuff. And this book doesn't necessarily need anything like that fixed. There were a couple sort of like homonym stuff mixed up, like there and here. But otherwise, it's not too bad. It's just not exactly what I was expecting, because I went in 100% thinking mafia romance. And we did have some sort of like feelings going on with them being kids. Like Dominic, I think I mentioned before, he sort of started having a crush at like 11 years old. And then Alana started to like him when they were 15. But the characters also feel much older than 15. Like, they were getting into like hot and heavy stuff, and there was a sex scene that wasn't like super graphic, but it was graphic enough that I felt uncomfortable because they were 15. I wish everything would have just been pushed up even 2 more years. So like, have them meet at 13 and then 15 and then 17 instead of 11, 13, and 15. It just felt their ages were too young for the stuff that was going on for me to be comfortable with it. I am now curious to see what's going to happen after this, because it does appear that they sort of grew up as like friends and stuff, and then Alana and her family move away at the very end of the part that we just did. And then I'm assuming they're going to meet back up and come back together. So I do feel like it has the potential to have some romance stuff going on. But besides that, it's not bad. The mafia stuff, I'm not too sure how much I like that either. I've never read a mafia romance. And like, they know what they're doing is wrong, but you know, they do it anyway. I don't know. We'll have to see more. But I am, like I said, at 36% of the way in. My Bookly app says that I only have 1 hour and 42 minutes left in this book, which I guess makes sense because I'm almost 100 pages in. Like, I'm like, I think 91 pages into it, and it's under 300 pages, so that makes sense. But that does also mean we had 91 pages of them not being adults yet. So just, you know, keep that in mind if you're going to read this. But otherwise, it's not bad. I definitely want to get more into it and see where stuff is going to go, but I'm pleasantly surprised that it's not as bad as I was thinking, just because I've never read a mafia romance and I wasn't too sure how I was going to feel about it. Good job, dude. Good morning. We are actually just about to go to Target so we can get some stuff to organize, because we put the shelves up last night, as you guys saw. I don't think I've shown you the full shelves yet. We'll do that later, but Presley was definitely helping out with that. And before we go, I did want to update on Kingpin. I got to 46% of the way through. So far, they haven't gotten like back in the same town yet, and so it's been a lot of like mafia stuff. Like, they're planning stuff, people are turning traitor, I don't know. I'm not as into that. I'm hoping it picks up its pace, although it is a quick book to get into. Like, it's very quick to read, which is good. But yeah, I only got like another 10% read last night, because by the time Presley went to bed, it was like already 9 and it was getting late. So yeah, we're gonna be going to Target, and then I will be reading more. So it it is almost gonna be lunchtime. I'm gonna be cutting up some fruit for like fruit salad and stuff and then starting to make lunch. But I figured I would check in. So I am now 61% of the way through Kingpin. Again, still a lot more mafia stuff than anything else in the book, and I was really hoping for more. Not badly written at all. We'll see how the rest of the book goes. I have like almost, I think exactly an hour left in the book, so I will definitely finish that later, probably after Presley goes down for a nap. But I also wanted to just sort of talk a little bit about the name Greer, or at least in the capacity that I know. We did this a little bit last time with the name Chelsea, and so I just wanted to give some like facts. So this whole vlog is about my maiden name, Greer. Obviously, that is my father's last name, but I am not like actually related to anybody with the last name Greer. Mainly because my father was actually adopted by his stepfather, like officially, when he was around 4 years old. So my grandpa is actually, I guess, like my step-grandpa, but that's how he got Greer. Before that, I'm pretty sure his last name was Smith, but I'm also not related to any Smiths really either, because that was actually a chosen last name by my biological grandfather when he came here to the United States from France. Apparently he decided he wanted to change his last name from, I think it was Cat Leon or something like that, to Smith, and then my father got it changed from Smith to Greer when he was adopted, when he was like 4. So my maiden name is Greer, but I'm like not related to anybody with the name Greer. I did think it would be really cool to do one of these what's in a name vlogs about somebody with the last name, like I'm pretty sure, like 99% sure it's Cat Leon. I have not found anybody with that last name that writes books. I've tried multiple different spellings of it, nothing. But I do think it's very interesting that, like, yeah, technically my maiden name is Greer, but not actually like blood related to people that are Greer besides like my family. And so I'm gonna get back to making lunch. I think that's my only update for now, because I don't even know if Greer even means stuff. Like, I know not a lot of last names do, some do. But yeah, I just thought that was always an interesting tidbit for me personally. The fact that it doesn't really mean I'm related to people with that same last name. So yeah, Presley has just climbed up here. I'm gonna be watching him while I cook. And yeah, I will talk to you guys when I finish Kingpin. Okay, we're in the kitchen once again because I am cooking things in the slow cooker. We have ribs in here that are still doing its thing. And I've started potatoes for potato salad. We're gonna try it out. I've never actually made homemade potato salad by myself. The cats, also, because we're in the kitchen, think it's time to eat. It's not dinner time for them yet, but they think it is. But I did want to let you guys know I did finish Kingpin. I think I'm giving it like 3 stars because the writing style is not bad whatsoever. I just do think it is ultimately billed wrong. Like, on the cover it does say like an Italian mafia romance. There's not really any romance. There was no actual like build up. The closest thing that we got to build up was when they were kids, but even then, we didn't actually get to experience the feelings really. It just sort of was like, oh, he had a crush on her, and then she started to like him like right before she moved. So we never really got to see that build up. Then, when she eventually comes back to his town and everything, the second, like, it's a little bit more than half of the book, but the second half of the book takes place over like 1 week. 1 week. And so again, we don't get to see any development of feelings. It is just like, oh, I've been in love with you for 10 years, even though I left with my family and you stayed here. Like, they are both just in love with each other. And it also just felt a little bit shallow to me. Like, every single time that they talked about each other in their feelings, they also had to talk about how hot or gorgeous they looked and the fact that he was rich. Like, they mentioned it multiple times that he looked hot and she looked hot and he is rich, like multiple times. And so I'm just sort of like, there wasn't that romance that I was expecting. Now, there was tons of mafia stuff. So if you're going into something like this wanting more of the actual mafia angle, maybe this is something that you're looking for. I just didn't think it was necessarily a romance. There was also a part that made me a little uncomfortable where they sort of take a dig or multiple digs at some of the previous like partners that he had, like not even partners, more like I guess girls that liked him, one night stands, that kind of stuff, but they like were making fun of them for being like crazy girlfriends. Even our main girl character of Alana is like, oh yeah, I'm not like that. Like it felt a little bit weird and sort of like I'm not like other girls sort of thing, but like everybody was apparently crazy. I don't know how I felt about that, but yeah, ultimately I guess not the book for me, not what I thought it was going to be. Like I really was expecting more romance since it said romance on the cover, and it is a romance written by a guy, which again, like I've said before, I have read some, but I feel like most of those ones that I've read that were written by guys are male romances. I don't know off the top of my head for sure if I've read any other like female male romances written by a guy. So it was interesting. Writing style was fine, just not necessarily what I expected, but at the same time, what did I expect? I don't think I had any expectations necessarily because of the fact that I've never read a mafia romance, but I do have expectations, I guess, for romance in general as a genre, and I didn't feel like it hit enough of the actual like progression of the romance for me personally. But yeah, one book down. Like I said before, I am cooking, so I probably will start another book tonight. I'm leaning towards less, just because that way we have like ebook, physical book, ebook. We'll see, but I'm not gonna end up starting that for at least a few hours, so I'll talk to you guys later. Good morning. Today we got up bright and early because Presley just decided that was what we were gonna do. Hi. You coming over? He's coming over. He actually started getting up around like 6 something, before 6:30 especially, and I think part of it is because we're getting into summer, and so it gets brighter much earlier, so instead of semi-waking up and then falling back asleep because it's dark, we're just up. Hi! I don't know what you want yet. He's been a little cranky also because he got up so early, but I did want to say yeah? I'm 11 pages into less. I started it last night before dinner, but then I was in the middle of like making dinner and stuff, so like when I say I started it before dinner, it was like while I was waiting for certain things to just like finish cooking like in the oven, and then we had dinner, and then we hung out with this baby who really wanted to watch himself on my phone especially, but we ended up putting on like my home videos playlist on YouTube, so he just sort of watched himself from like the last trip we just took, which was like a zoo day trip, all the way back past last Christmas through a different like the RV trip I think. So he's just been watching little baby Presley, and then we put him to bed, and by that time it was just so late that I was like, I don't want to read. Nothing has really happened in this book yet because I'm only 11 pages in. One thing I will say is it is very flowery. I don't actually even know if it's necessarily purple prose, but it definitely reminds me of like why I don't always like literary fiction, because it feels like it's taking so long to get to the point. Like I definitely prefer writing styles that are less beautiful, because it is beautiful writing. I do appreciate like what the author is, I should probably hold this up if you guys can see it. I do appreciate what the author is using and doing with the language in here, but it has a lot of like metaphors and that kind of stuff, and again, I'm not really into that always. I do hope that as I get into the book more, I won't mind as much, and again, it's not that I mind. It's just that it takes me longer to read. Like I said, I read like 11 pages yesterday, but it took me like 9 minutes to read those pages. Whereas I think my normal average is like 80 or 90 pages an hour. So this is closer to like 60-ish, 60, almost 70, I don't know. It's a little bit slower, but I haven't gotten into it that much either. So we'll see. video is going to be very interesting. I'm currently at a red light. It's almost 2 p.m. and we are going to Presley's speech therapy appointment. This is something that I have mentioned like on Twitter and stuff, and I don't think I've done any vlogs since we've started going, so I haven't mentioned it previously on any videos. But Presley is going to be turning 2 on August 1st, and so he, for the last couple months, has been going to speech therapy stuff because he was not fully like where he's supposed to be word-wise. Like, I think a couple months ago when we first started this, he was supposed to be at like at least 10-15 words, and he had maybe like 4. So we have definitely been going every single Wednesday, and he has been improving a lot. I think part of what was going on with him was also sort of like shyness or anxiety, mostly related to the fact that like COVID happened, and so he wasn't going out and doing a lot of stuff, going and seeing other kids and other people. And so even just going and seeing somebody to sort of play with him, each time we've been going, he's been opening up more and more, which I do think is definitely helping. So we are currently going to his speech therapy appointment. It is on like the complete opposite side of town because his pediatrician is on the complete opposite side of town. And then because we needed to get a referral to speech therapy, they referred us to somebody over on that side of town, which is fine. It means we definitely get out of the house. It takes us like 35-40 minutes to get over there. So we usually leave the house about like 1:45 just to make sure we get to our appointment on time. And so yeah, I think we're gonna have a pretty good time. Last time we were there, he didn't really need me as much. I still go in the room with him, but he wasn't like having to be attached to me the whole time, which is great. But so that's where we're going right now. I did actually read more in Less earlier today. The chapters in Less are so long. The first chapter was until like page 40 something. The second chapter went up to page like 75. So I don't like that aspect as much. I'm definitely somebody that I like big books, and this isn't necessarily a big book, but I need shorter chapters. But we're getting into it. Again, nothing too crazy has gone down yet, so we'll see how I feel about it more as we go. But like I said before, the writing style is very metaphoric and symbolic and this kind of stuff, and I'm sure there are a lot of people that love that kind of stuff. It's just a little bit more tedious for me to read. But yeah, I'm excited to get into it. We're about to go on the freeway, so I'm going to let you guys go, but it also looks like we're going to hit some traffic, so that's great. But yeah, going to speech therapy. I will talk to you guys probably afterwards. Okay, so we just finished his appointment, which is why we're sitting in the car. We have people on either side of us putting their kids in the cars because we all go in at like the same time, come out around the same time. And he did pretty well today. There were a few times where he was just not wanting to use ASL, like his sign language, because that is one of the ways that he's been sort of communicating with our speech therapist. But he did whine a lot, which he has never done because the last few times we've gone, he has not been vocal whatsoever. So overall, still good progress, just not exactly like what we were expecting. He also did more a couple times, which he does know how to do, and he did a lot last week. And at one point, he did the more with the sound, because he actually does know how to say like mo for more. He just doesn't have like the R at the end. So overall, not bad. We are now going to be going to my aunt's house to hang out because one of my cousin's children is like 5 and Presley likes to hang out with him a little bit, so we're gonna go and have just like a little play date, just like a little bit of time over there. So yeah, overall pretty good. Okay, so we are back from doing all of the stuff that we need to do, and I got some book mail, just mail in general, art mail, that kind of stuff too, and I completely forgot to open it on camera, so I just did want to show you guys. So the first stuff that I got is from Opry Joy. They just do like art stuff. I will leave all the creators linked down below. But the first thing we have is a cute little corgi sploot sticker. And then they also did a whole bunch of these cat flag prints for Pride Month, and I got the asexual one. I do identify more as demisexual, but they didn't have one of those, so I did get this one because too cute. And then I also got some stuff from Books Breathe Magic. They are going to be stopping selling stuff in their shop soon, and so I could not pass up some of this stuff. I'm sorry for the cats meowing in the background, that's just what they do. So the first thing that I have here though is a bookmark, which is very shiny and I love it. And so this one says, "The head is too wise, the heart is all fire," from the Raven Boys. We do have trees and a deer at the bottom. And then on the back it says, "The trees speak Latin," from, you know, the Raven Boys. We also got a different bookmark, which says, "History, huh? I bet we could make some," from Red, White, and Royal Blue. And this is on the back. And then we got a couple of the art prints that are like the black and gold. So this one is for the Raven Boys. And again, I love how shiny it is. And then I also got one for Aurora Rising. Again, absolutely love these. I do believe they sell these in their shop currently, but the artist is different. So I will leave the artist for these linked down below as well, because it's like a collaboration thing. And then I also got a t-shirt from Kristen, Red Red Wine, her new Etsy store, and it says Bookish Mom on there. And I mean, I definitely identify as a bookish mom on BookTube because one, books, two, my kid. But I will probably end up wearing this tomorrow. I want to wash it before I wear it, and we're planning on doing laundry tonight, but I'm very, very excited for it. And so yeah, that is the update for now. We are home. I have not read anything, obviously, because we just got home, but I did get some cool mail. Okay guys, I have not updated much today, mostly because I didn't read any more last night. We're apparently playing with Play-Doh for like the 4th time today. Daddy's gonna open that. Don't put your water with the Play-Doh. But I did actually read for almost an hour earlier today, so I'm now on page 161 in Less. There's like 260-ish pages, so I'm actually like just a couple pages shy of 100 pages left. And I'm very conflicted about this book, mostly because this is a genre and type of book I do not normally read. It is very much literary fiction, and some of the sentences go on way too long. Some stuff I've been sort of skimming over just because they're more like flashback or memories or longings for our main character here, and I just don't really see the point. I mean, I'm sure there's a point, I just don't enjoy them as much. But at the same time, there have been some scenes that have been sort of poignant, and I do enjoy that. So I'm basically taking this page by page because the writing style, because it is so metaphoric and symbolic and all this kind of stuff, is not really my thing. I prefer more cut and dry, this is what's going on, here's your action, and that's definitely not what this is. I do think I'm going to like that I finished it once I do finish it, but I'm very torn about this, like very back and forth, just because of the type of book it is. But like I said, I have just about 100 pages left. I am hopefully going to read more tonight. It is also my turn to cook dinner, so I'm not going to like read more right now. I'll have to wait until Presley goes to bed and then just sort of see how tired I am by that point. Good morning. We are about to start Paw Patrol because Presley saw it in a video he was watching of himself on my phone. but I did want to say I did not get any more reading in less done last night. I fully intended to. I brought it upstairs so I could read it in bed, but I didn't. We got Presley to bed and everything, but then I started doing some work on a spreadsheet, like a reference material sort of thing for the Indie Accords Readathon, which I am a team captain of. I'm team captain for romance, and it's not happening until July, but if you want to sign up and be eligible for one of the prizes that is available, you do have to sign up before the 28th of June. And so we've been having people sign up and starting to like pick out books for their TBRs, and because of the different nuances that there are in publishing, I wanted to make, he's getting mad at me for talking, but I wanted to make a sort of like spreadsheet that people could go in and look at to double check if the publisher of a book is an imprint of a big publisher or not, because there are quite a few different imprints and stuff, and even ones that you wouldn't necessarily think about. So I started doing that last night, and yeah, that took over a little bit of time. But I am hopefully going to finish less today. I just need to start reading, so probably while he's watching Paw Patrol. Okay, so we just finished dinner. We actually ate a little bit late today because we had to have a new faucet put in and stuff just got pushed back a lot today. But that means Presley's gonna be going to bed soon. And I did actually finish Less by Andrew Sean Greer today. I feel like everything that I've been giving for like updates for this has been very mixed, and I do feel like my review of this is probably very mixed feelings. However, by the end, I am giving it 4 stars. For the first half or so, I was thinking maybe like 3, just because of the stuff that I have mentioned before. Like, this is definitely not my genre, not my writing style, not the thing I would ever normally pick up. And if it wasn't for this vlog, I probably would not have ever actually picked it up or finished reading it, because the very beginning, like, again, maybe up until about halfway or so, it's all the stuff I don't like. It's the very, like, waxing poetic type of writing style. There was quite a few, like, look backs, like memories and that kind of stuff, not flashbacks, but like looking back at his life and his experiences and his relationships, and it was just stuff that I was like, I want the momentum to keep moving forward. But as I mentioned the last time I think I talked about this, like in some depth, we did get some good moments and some good scenes where like I really enjoyed certain parts, and like it felt very like poignant and stuff like that, and it was a little surprising, and it kept growing and growing throughout the book. We got less and less of the like looking back memory stuff and more of him going to different countries and different events and meeting people, and like the people he meets and how he reacts to stuff. Like, he's an interesting character for not being a very interesting character. Like, he's an almost 50-year-old white man. Yeah, he's gay, but like in the book they talk about him being like a bad gay. Like, it's interesting that he's sort of a mundane white American, and yet this kind of stuff still happens. So yeah, as I kept reading, especially today, as I kept reading more and more, I started finding myself liking it more and more. I really liked the like last few scenes, last couple chapters probably as well, because this book only has like 8 chapters in it, and they're long chapters. That's one thing I also didn't really like when I was starting the book, and I didn't mind it as much near the end, but like it has really long chapters, and I definitely prefer shorter chapters to make the book feel like it's going longer. But yeah, so I guess sort of surprising in the fact that like even when I started it, I did not think I was really going to be giving it as good of a review as I feel like I could now. Like, I'm definitely going to be keeping it on my shelves. I might eventually try and read it again a few years from now. Like, I could see myself reading it again. But like, I never expected myself to like it as much as I did. It's just so very interesting. But also, this is a book that like the entire time I was reading it, I was just thinking my best friend would like this book. it has all the stuff that he likes. The like looking backwards, sort of like almost like double timelines, the memories, the really like poetic, symbolic language, like all this kind of stuff. Our main character here also knows some German, and my friend is like fluent in German. And so the whole time I was like, he would like this book. Turns out, because I looked on Goodreads, he's already read it, gave it 5 stars. So, I mean, one thing that it tells me is I know my friend very well. As soon as I started reading this, like, every single time I was in this book, I was like, he would like this book. I should tell him about this book. I know he would enjoy this. Well, he already did. So I think that is going to be it, at least for this book. I do have one more book left, which is The Weird of Hali. I'm planning on getting some work done in the office actually tonight, so I don't think I'm going to be starting a new book. And then I'm going to be playing Mass Effect Legendary Edition in the mornings on Saturday and Sunday like I have been doing recently, and I'm very excited to do that. So I will update you guys tomorrow for sure. Again, this new book is only like 200 and something pages. I think every single book I'm reading this week is only like 200 and something pages. So hopefully it won't take me too long and I will finish by Sunday, because I didn't want to do more than a week for this vlog. I was actually hoping to be done a little early, but lots of stuff has been happening this week. So yeah, I guess that is it for now. Pleasantly surprised by my reading. Hello, good morning. It is almost noon already because I have now finished my Mass Effect live playthrough for Saturday and have started editing for this vlog. I have not started The Weird of Hali Innsmouth yet, just because I got too much into trying to get stuff set up and editing and like that kind of stuff last night, and by the time I went to bed, I was just too tired to do that. We are going to be reading it today and tomorrow to hopefully finish it out by the end of the week. But one thing I haven't been doing as much this time as I did last time in my What's in the Name vlog is giving you meanings and stuff of the name. We talked about what Chelsea means and like some fun things like that last time. So I decided I was going to Google Greer stuff because I do not know whatsoever anything about it. The first thing that comes up when I type in Greer surname meaning is the name Greer is primarily a gender-neutral name of Scottish origin that means watchful guardian. Surname indicating members are from the family of Gregory. So while obviously Greer is not my first name, I doubt it actually means watchful guardian as a last name. I thought it was interesting, and then it says it's indicating that members are from the family of Gregory, and if we go down further, we have like surname origins and meanings. This is now from the Four Bears website, and it says this surname is derived from the name of an ancestor, the son of Gregory. This fontal name is now rarely used. I don't know exactly what that means. Are they talking about like the son of such and such? Interesting. But yeah, it also shows that it is the 5,998th most common surname in the world. Approximately 94,093 people bear the surname, most prevalent in the United States, but it has the highest density in Montserrat, which I did have to look up when I was first looking this, and apparently it's like a British colony. So intriguing to me, at least. Oh, and they have like a map of the distribution. So I'm assuming the red is the most common. So we have like North America and Australia and England. And we have a doorbell. So our doorbell was a package, which I will cover my address. But I know what this is. It has refrigerate upon arrival on it, because I bought stuff. I bought macarons from online. I think it's from Macaron. I will leave it linked down below. We've done this before. They're really good. Definitely worth the price. Shipping is the most expensive of the whole thing. The actual macarons aren't too expensive. And yeah, I was on my period and saw an ad for them on Instagram and could not help myself because they have chocolate and they're really good. I'm not even on my period anymore, but that's why I bought them. I also sort of told myself that like, hey, it could be a Father's Day present for my husband, but we all know I'm going to eat them, right? I mean, just look at that. The ice pack completely melted, so I definitely need to get these in the fridge. I mean, they came from Florida to Arizona very quickly once they shipped it, but like overall. And then, yeah, I definitely had to get a lot of chocolate ones. I don't exactly know what is what, but I did get cookies and cream, which actually I think is this one. This cookies and cream. I got peanut butter cup, which is probably this one. S'mores. There's a dark chocolate caramel sea salt. There's also a chocolate truffle and a brownie batter. So I'm gonna put these in the fridge so that we can have some later. Okay, so I am back in the office mostly just because Presley is watching himself on my phone over and over and over again. And so I did want to come in and update that I have started The Weird of Hali, one of those, Innsmouth. This is the first book in a series, and so far I have read the first 2 chapters. I'm at 21% of the way in. I don't actually remember off the top of my head what number of pages that is. I want to say it's around 40 something, maybe getting close to 50. I don't know how I feel about it. Partly I have a headache today, this afternoon for whatever reason, but also we're currently following Owen, who goes to college in Miskatonic, I think is what it is, and he's like doing his thesis on H.P. Lovecraft because Lovecraftian stuff happens there, or like in stories, not for real. And the thing is, we've gone through 2 chapters, which are very, very long chapters, which I do not like, but everything is about school and like his thesis and going to classes and like what they're talking about in classes. But we also have this weird juxtaposition of how the story is being told. It feels too detailed and too vague at the same time. Like, we're going with him to his classes and everything, and he'll mention like, oh, the teacher said these couple sentences about whatever they're currently working on, but then it just skims over everything else. So I actually don't know what's going on. My head is hurting from trying to figure out like what kind of classes he's taking and this kind of stuff. But that's how everything has been so far. I don't even know how much time has passed in the book, at least a few days. And it's basically all like, he lives with roommates, he's working on his thesis, he goes to class, he goes to the library to work more on his thesis, he goes to talk to this teacher about something, and just like cycles through it over and over. And some things just feel super, super vague, and then some things are trying to be detailed about like what kind of stuff he's doing in class, but it's not detailed enough for me to actually understand it. And from what I do understand, there was some letter that was apparently written by H.P. Lovecraft talking about the occult in such a way that potentially he believes in it, whereas a lot of people and scholars, I guess, in this college town don't think he ever believed in it. And it's like a new letter just been found sort of thing, and this mysterious person in a hat, that's all I remember, and has rings on their fingers. This mysterious person with a hat and has rings on their fingers basically came up to him and was like, don't go looking into it because things might not be what they appear, and that's all I know. We've taken like almost 50 pages to do that because there's just been so much of the schooling and thesis, and I don't care about those. So I definitely want to get some more reading done later today if possible. I also want to get some more editing done later today if possible. But yeah, as of right now, nothing's really happened for me to want to continue this story. Hello, good morning, and hopefully today is the last day of the reading vlog. I really don't know, insofar as the fact that I read 2 more chapters of The Weird of Hali last night, and I'm on like 37%. My Bookly app says I have less than 2 hours to go, but I don't understand this book. And I don't even necessarily think it's because of like the actual main plot that it's supposed to be here. Like I don't even know what it's supposed to be, but we're still in the middle of like Owen going to class and listening to teachers and having like debates about stuff, but like also the debates, I think because I'm not in that fucking class, I don't know what they're debating. Like the teacher will give like a 2 to 3 sentence like da 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 go. And then they're supposed to like debate stuff. And like sometimes we listen to it for multiple pages and then sometimes it's very vague. Like I don't understand why this is in the book except for maybe the author thinks they're smart. I don't know. We did have Owen like go to Innsmouth to sort of try to investigate, I guess, the letter, but nothing really happened. Like again, I'm 37% of the way in and I don't really get it. And the writing style, like the way that the author is trying to tell this story with some very, very specific details and some very, very vague details, like all relating to Owen doing his thesis project, I don't see the point. I'm really not enjoying it. I have not read anything yet today because I was just doing the Mass Effect live stuff. However, my internet also went out like 10-15 minutes ago, and so the live ended up getting cut off in the middle of a big mission, in the middle of me talking to somebody. So like that was fun, but I can't even go on and like put a note into the live like after the fact and be like, by the way, it cut out, sorry about that, we'll continue this next weekend. I still have no internet, so we will see. I'm upset about that because it's a big mission, and I actually, as we were going through it, I thought we were actually going to be able to finish it today so that we could just do endgame stuff, like the big missions next weekend, and finish the game like Saturday or Sunday. I still think we'll probably be able to finish by the end of my stream on Sunday, but I was really thinking we were going to be able to finish this big mission today, but my internet cut out. So I have not read anything yet because of the fact that like it's not even 11 yet. So yeah, I am going to try to read more of the book today, but I think today is the day where I decide to either finish reading it or DNF it, because currently nothing has happened enough for me to actually be interested. So yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I'm choosing to do. I will try to read it one more time because I have, like I said, less than 2 hours. It is definitely doable for one day, but I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna try to do more reading, and if I still do not enjoy myself and I just don't feel like I can continue, then I will DNF. I don't like to do that with these kind of vlogs. I have done it before, but I feel like if I'm giving you a vlog, I need to finish it. But I also need to be nice to myself, and if I just can't do it, I can't do it. Okay guys, it is after 4 p.m. and I'm calling it. Our internet is still out and we don't know when it's gonna come back. And even though it has been out for hours now, like over 5 hours now, I haven't gotten much reading done. I tried reading more in The Weird of Hali and I just don't think it's working for me. They introduced a new character. I guess isn't necessarily a new character, it's the guy with the hat that I mentioned, like the hat and the rings, as a character from H.P. Lovecraft's stories, and they didn't give me any more details than that. And I'm not familiar with H.P. Lovecraft stuff, so I do think this is definitely not a book that I'm going to be able to get into, because they're doing too much stuff now that I'm guessing they're just assuming I should know about, and I don't. I did decide to put on the new shirt that I got from Kristen that I mentioned before. We didn't actually do laundry, like finish it that same day, so that's why I haven't been wearing it, but the quality is really nice. The shirt is really comfortable, so I'm very happy with it. And yeah, I think I'm gonna be ending this vlog now because I'm not getting into that book. It's just giving me a headache trying to get into it, but that means this vlog is a little bit weird to me personally. All of the books basically are the opposite of what I thought. I thought I was gonna like this one the best because it actually was a fantasy and sort of weird, and I thought I was going to like less the least just because of the fact that it's not my genre, not really my thing, and I gave it 4 stars. So like, that tells you expectations don't always matter. I would not have picked up any of these books except for the fact that I wanted to do this vlog. But yeah, I still gave less 4 stars. Kingpin wasn't that bad either. Like overall, not crazy. But it is Sunday. The internet is still out. Presley wants a snack. I'm gonna let you guys go and I'm gonna see you guys in my next video.